guys. How's it going? I hope everyone is doing well whenever you tune in and see this. So this is going to be a general reading for both Earth sign Virgo and air sign Libra. All right, so I pulled all of Virgo's cards ahead of time, and then after we do the Virgo reading, I will shuffle the cards on screen, and then we will go ahead to the Libra part of the reading. All right. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing well, like I was saying, and I will take a picture of each set of zodiac signs readings. Okay, so I will be posting that after the live, and if you want to check out the photo later to see the cards more close up in detail, you can always do that by just clicking in the description box below and following the instructions there on how to see the photo if you want. All right, so it will be available. But yeah, this is going to be a general reading for both Virgo and Libra. So general can mean anything, like just as an example, love, work, money, health, abundance, all forms of abundance, okay? And so it can be about you, it can be about another person or multiple people that you're dealing with, or it can be about your general environment. All right, it will be different for everybody. But also wanted to say that even if you are not a sun sign Virgo or a sun sign Libra, there might still be a message for you here, since we all have all 12 zodiac signs throughout each individual of our own birth charts. Okay, so you have Virgo somewhere, even if it's not a heavy direct placement, you do have it somewhere. Okay, and also too, if you see me before, you kind of know the deal, but for the new people, or even people who are not aware, maybe not necessarily, right? I don't know everyone's knowledge, okay, without speaking to you directly, but I always encourage everyone to get a free birth chart online, because it really can tell you a lot of interesting things about yourself. Okay, so you can get one even if you don't have your exact birth time. You can still find out where your other placements are. For instance, where's your Venus for matters of love? More specifically, where's your Jupiter for matters of abundance and money? And just as an example, right? So the one I use, I believe I always keep it in the link description box below, but it's Astrology Cafe, and that's a really good one that's free. So anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead here and do a quick sound bell just to clear our energy and ground for the reading, and do some healing for myself and for you guys. And then we'll go ahead and get into the Virgo reading. So yeah, sometimes it gets loud, so if you're sensitive, just be aware. It'll be loud for a little bit, but not forever. All right, so also if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out, or just breathe naturally, whatever works for you. Okay, all right. All right. So now that we did our little sound bell, let's talk about the placement of the cards here real quickly. So we are going to be covering about a 4-week time period. So from about June 21st to July 21st, okay? And so the first 4 cards, each card corresponds to kind of each week. I think the first 3 are 7 days, and then the last one is a little extra, so it's like 10 days. But nothing's exact, it's just kind of like a guideline, okay? Because all readings are timeless as well, since time is fluid and relative. So as an example too, this reading could resonate during that actual time for 2022. It could be, as an example, 6 months before, 6 months after, a year before, a year after, give or take whatever makes sense for you, okay? So with that being said, let me go ahead and set my little timer there. I always forget to do that, but Yeah, so Virgo, you have quite a few zodiac signs here showing up in your reading, so I wanted to call them out ahead of time. So you definitely have Gemini and Pisces energy in the more future, current possibilities, probabilities, right? You could be dealing with a Gemini or Pisces, or you have a lot of that in your birth chart, or they do, or it could be referencing something from the Gemini. Season we just finished, right? Or even the Pisces season of last year, or the one coming up this year. It'll be a lot of it, a lot of different things, or it doesn't necessarily have to resonate that part. As far as the zodiac signs, but I like to call them out ahead of time. Now, in the past position here, you also have what did I say? Gemini again, and then you have Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo. Okay, excuse me, and some of your past cards here. So we'll talk about it when we're on each one. I just wanted to, talk about that before I forgot. All right, so let's call out your cards and get started here. So we have the Seven of Staves, also known as the Seven of Wands, in the right side up position. We have the Lovers in the right side up position. We have the Princess of Cups in the right side up position. And we have the Two of Staves or Two of Wands in the right side up position. And then we'll talk about the other ones as we go through, right? But we are using two different decks as well. And we'll also always talk about what's on the bottom, the top and the bottom of each deck as it comes up or as spirit tells me to mention it. Okay, so let's see. So we were saying here for the first week, it could be energy from June 21st through June 27th. The second week could be from June 28th through July 4th. The third week could be from July 5th through July 11th, okay? And then the fourth week could be from anywhere from July 12th through July 21st. Again, nothing is exact, it's just kind of a guideline. All right, but we start off here, Virgo, with that Seven of Staves in the right side up position here. And this is a beautiful energy to start your reading off with, okay? This is about taking lessons, karmic lessons from the past and integrating them into your current life, okay? So being more mindful of what you've learned, okay, and how you can incorporate that into your current life. It's also about spiritual downloads, revelations, you know, finally understanding something, having the pieces of the puzzle come together, but it also could be about some type of spiritual initiation, right? So I'm going to come here a little bit closer. Hopefully you can see when it focuses there, but there's this person inside this Egyptian temple and they are praying to the Egyptian gods, right? But the main thing is that they have their arms wide open, palms upwards, ready to receive, right? So it's just a metaphor, right? No one's saying that you have to pray to Egyptian gods or anything, but if you do, that's cool too, right? But it's more about being open and ready to receive. And again, using those karmic lessons from this lifetime that you've already learned or even past lifetimes, right? And just integrating that and kind of moving forward. Like, how can I bring more abundance into my life, right? Since abundance isn't just money. Of course, money is important and good, right? We all like money, but it's also what else, what are my plans, my goals, my aspirations for the future, okay? So this is a really nice energy, again, Virgo, to start off your reading. And then it leads to the Lover's card, which is your repeating card. I'll try to add it to the title later, but if you're watching now, you're getting the message, right? You get this card quite often, not all the time, but I do notice, Virgo, that it is something, that has been in past readings, okay? So one is in the right side up position and the other one is reversed, all right? And anytime you do have a repeating card, it's a special message from Spirit to be like, okay, this is really important because it's coming out of two different decks, right? And I'll shuffle and cut the deck and I do my fish pond, just like call it, and all those things. So when it comes out twice, it's really like, hey, let's pay attention to this. Okay, but now we're on your second card, the second week, which could be from about June 28th through July 4th, right next week. And this is really nice, following that Seven of Staves or Seven of Wands, right? Because we're talking about some type of partnership, whether it's romantic, platonic, with friends and family, or even self-love. that is divinely guided, that there is an equal give and take from both parties or people, right? Or corporations or multiple people, whatever it is, okay? A work partnership, right? Where everybody is giving the same amount of energy into working together and having some type of harmonious relationship here, okay? And it is higher vibrational love, again, whether it's romantic, platonic, work, or self love, right? Because they bring out the best in each other, right? So the Lovers card is very similar to, let's say, the Two of Cups, if you are familiar with tarot. But as in the comparison to, it's very different from, let's say, the Devil card, where you have a man and a woman, and they're bringing out the more low vibrational frequencies that deal with addictions and lust and all this. So this is, again, more higher vibrations of bringing out the best in each other, of two people, two energies, two parties, what have you. Okay, so really nice to see that again, Virgo. I have to check. I don't remember exactly where I have Virgo in my chart, but I love to see it. My dear friends, I have lots of Virgos. Well, my best friend, shout out. He knows who he is, okay? But moving forward, you really don't have any energetic blockages here, Virgo, in your present current possibilities, probabilities, but you have some blockages all in the past position, and then a little bit of a warning kind of thing. Not a big deal, right? And your confirmation card at the very end. But all four of these, all 4 weeks, let's say, look really, really beneficial and nice here. Okay, so let's move on. We got for your third week, and I said that was from July 5th through July 11th or so. We have the Princess of Cups here, okay? And so this is a really nice energy of somebody or some energy around you, okay, that is open to learning new things. And they're also exploring their craft, their hobbies, what makes them uniquely them, okay? So you see this Morgana-like figure. She's the goddess of witchcraft and herbal medicine, okay? And we see the moon back here in behind her, right, in the background. And so again, that could be another kind of reference to Pisces energy here, but not specifically, okay? So here we see Morgana, and she is planting and picking. Maybe she's planting. I don't know why I said planting, but she's working with herbs, right? So she could be planting or picking the herbs, okay? But she's the Princess of Cups. So her cup is right side up, and that's important, right? So the cups in the tarot, much like the water that's behind her underneath the moon, represents our emotions, okay? So what makes me emotionally happy, fulfilled, what are my emotional priorities, all those things, okay? So it looks like it's in a pretty positive placement here. But again, this doesn't have to be you, Virgo. I hope so, though. Like I said, really nice cards here. It could be about a person you're dealing with, or multiple people you're dealing with, or a general environment situation, okay? But definitely some Pisces energy going around. Now, we, as a little thing here, we start on the 28th, Neptune retrograde, which is one of the rulers of Pisces, okay, on June 28th. So that would be in your second and kind of third week, and we're on your third card. So I was just trying to figure out why we had so much Pisces energy here. That could be something definitely with the Neptune retrograde going on. Now, with all retrogrades, some people feel it before or after others, right? But retrogrades are definitely not all to be feared or scared about, right? Because it's usually the 3 or 4 re's, right? So revise, revisit, replan, go over something again that needs a second look, okay, or further healing, right? But back to the Princess of Cups energy here too as well, Virgo. She's doing something, right? Picking her herbs at night, and we don't know if it's because that's when the flowers bloom, right? Certain flowers bloom at night, or if it's because she's doing it in secret, or maybe it's because she's a night person, and that's when she does her work, okay? So the first some, there could have that extra energy to it about doing something that is unconventional in a certain way, okay? And as far as the emotions, maybe you're doing or exploring a different type of emotion that you wouldn't normally do, or with someone, or an energy, right? It could be a lot of different things. But the main thing here, too, is that the moon is in the past here, it's behind her, okay? Excuse me, guys, sorry. So the moon is about, the example I always like to use is if you're sleeping over somebody's house and they have a coat rack and you don't remember that it's there and you get up to get some water at night or whatever, and you see the coat rack but you can't really see well, and you're like, is that a person? Is that a monster? Is that a spirit? What the hell is that? That is what the moon card represents, right? And I'm just talking about, this isn't the moon card, but we're talking about this aspect of the Princess of Cups, okay? So when you turn the light on to see better, you just say, oh, that's just the coat rack, okay? Like, no big deal. Now, so this Princess of Cups here is moving away from not being able to see things clearly, about not being sure about whether that's a coat rack or a person or a spirit or what have you, right? Monster, etc. Okay, so now she is more in the light, okay? And again, she is exploring her craft, her hobbies, her unique nature about herself. And also to note, she's not a queen yet, she's a princess. And that's the first thing I mentioned when I picked up this card, I believe, right? Is that she's open to learning new things. We should always strive for that, right? So really nice, again, Virgo. Hopefully these things do come about for you, and always feel free to let me know in the comments down below later, how this came together for you. All right, now moving forward to your fourth card here, and this is after we talk about your fourth card, we'll talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck, okay? But we have the Two of Staves here in the right side up position, also known as the Two of Wands, okay? So if we could, as an example, say that the first three cards were for momentum, progress, energy, kind of faster energy, to then when we get to that fourth week, which we said could be around July 12th through July 21st or so, is now the energy is kind of slowing down and going into, maybe, let's say, if you are a sun sign Virgo, or even wherever your Virgo is in your chart, going into the natural Virgo hermit mode, right? Since that's your card in the tarot. Because the Two of Staves or the Two of Wands is a slowed down energy. And it is has a lot to do with Virgo card itself, right? Because it's about introspection and going inward and trying to find answers. So here we see this woman, Egyptian woman. We see just the back of her head, and she's lounging on her couch, right? Her chaise lounge, whatever it's called. And she's looking out into the Nile River, and she's watching the ships go by and people go by. And so she's open, she's doing her research, she's people watching, she's taking time to reflect, okay? And this really is complementary too. If we look at your first and your last card and the first main four cards, right, the 4 weeks that we're talking about, they both kind of support each other, very complementary. So you go from that spiritual awakening, taking karmic lessons from the current life or past life even, and integrating them to have a spiritual initiation in some way, being open and ready to receive all forms of abundance. And then here, right, is like that introspection, the people watching, the researching, the calm before making the next step or taking the next action, okay? So very, very beneficial to each other and complementary, okay? Now, let's talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck here in relation to that Two of Wands or Two of Staves right side up. So these 4 cards here, each top and each bottom to each deck that I have over here, is past energy, okay? And it will be different for everybody. It could be a couple days ago, could be a couple months, could be even years, right? So it will be different. But what we have here in the first deck is the Ace of Cups in the reverse position on the top of the deck here, and then we have the World card in the reverse position as well on the bottom of the deck here, okay? And so this is when I was saying, you didn't have any really energetic blockages or stagnant energy in your present current possibilities, probabilities, right? But you had a bunch in your past, okay? And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. So this could be another reason why there is time, taken to reflect and to revisit and reanalyze things and do your research and do people watching, because before possibly you weren't feeling as you weren't feeling as resilient, or the other person was, or multiple people, or general environment situation, right? With the Ace of Cups in the reverse position, you or another person or energy wasn't quite ready for a new beginning yet, or there was some hesitancy there, okay? And also, possibly with this Ace of Cups in reverse position, there was a lot of emotions that were not fully understood, okay? Now, with the World card in reverse, too, that would have normally been, if it was right side up, another new beginnings kind of energy, okay? Creating something out of nothing, carving something new, right? A new beginning, new world, okay? But it's in the reverse position. So it's almost like, you know, we all experience up and downs throughout our life, right? That's normal. But it's like you have, foreshadowing, surprise over here. You also have two reversals over here. And not all reversals are bad, but these ones kind of are, as far as the energetic blockage or stagnant energy. So, but these are all in the past position. So it's almost like if you didn't have so much stuff going on in the past that was blocked, okay, or messy, or however you want to say it, or a gentle reminder, then you wouldn't appreciate and you wouldn't have all these positive things going on in the future current energies, okay? Now, when I show you this next two, you have the Lovers in reverse on the top of your deck and the Knight of Swords in reverse on the bottom of your deck here, okay? And again, we're talking about in relation to that Two of Staves or Two of Wands. So let's start off with first showing you, because I forgot to show it to you earlier, your repeating card, right? So in the past, the Lovers was in reverse, okay? So there was some type of relationship or union that wasn't an equal give and take, where you possibly were not bringing out the best in each other or bringing out the best in the energies in your environment if it wasn't an actual person, right, or multiple people. But then here in the future, current probabilities, possibilities, that's reversed. Okay, so now they would both be, let's say, right side up in the future. Okay, so again, showing from the past, you wouldn't necessarily appreciate it as much in the future if you didn't have that little bit of energetic blockage or something to correct in the past. Okay. Now going back to, oops, I think it's this way, yeah. The Lovers in reverse, again, Gemini energy, and the Knight of Swords in the reverse position. So there could have been, because the Knight of Swords is about some type of medium-sized offer or communication that, let's say, maybe you gave to someone or someone gave to you, or it just came in from the universe, right? But it wasn't understood, or it was the wrong time, or it wasn't well received, what have you, right? Because it's a false start and it's in the reverse position. Just like the World is a false start in reverse, and the Ace of Cups is in the reverse position, is also kind of like a false start, right? So yeah, it's just kind of showing you how far possibly you have come here, Virgo, or the people around you have come, your general environment situation. But, it's still really good. Like I said, I mean, I'm jealous. No, I'm happy for you. But yeah, no, for real, this is a very nice reading here for you. So moving forward, though, let's talk about your confirmation card here real quickly as well. Now, this one confirmation card is going to confirm all four cards here in a row, the 4 weeks that we talked about in the present position. So you got, and this is a gentle reminder, right? Because it doesn't mean that it's necessarily happened yet, and you always have free will, and it's your choice in your life, right? But it is just a reminder, right? So it's the High Priestess in the reverse position. So it's kind of weird because if you look at it just with your last fourth card, It's like introspection, right? Doing the review, the research, people watching. And then here it's like, okay, no introspection, not trusting my intuition. So it's a little bit of the opposite, but I feel like it's more of just a little bit of a gentle warning, right? To keep in your power, know thyself. The high priestess is about the knowledge of self. She always has a scroll or a book, right? And she's writing. Okay, so she's into the occult and the mysteries, but she wouldn't be able to understand any of those things if she didn't first understand herself. It's also about the light and dark, the duality in life, the positive and negative, right? That we all have inside of us. So it's just saying, stay on your course here, Virgo, and keep checking in with yourself, right? And making sure you say, well, how did I initially feel about that person or about that thing, whatever it is, because no matter what anyone else says, your viewpoints are usually they're I can't even talk. They're the most valid. They're at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, what's the most important. Yes, you should do your research and do people watching and take other people's advice, but still at the end of the day, you need to check in with yourself and make sure that you're listening to your mind, your body, your spirit connection, all of those things. All right. But I'd like it here for you, Virgo. I love to see it. Okay, and your last card before we switch over in the same reading to Libra, we have your little, it's not an oracle card per se, but it is animal spirit kind of deck. I guess it's a deck. It's a group of cards, whatever. But it's artwork from Susan Bolett. Okay, so she's this artist and she did a lot of Native American symbolism in her art. So anyway, the card that you got for this time period, and even beyond perhaps, Virgo, is the Crow. All right, and so it is about renewal, transformation, magic, and abundance. Okay, so we've got the magic aspect here. We've got the abundance here, right? We've got the magic and abundance again over here. What else? Transformation and renewal. Well, it could also be the Lovers and the Two of Wands or Two of Staves, right? All those things. But anyway, let me just read real quickly the back of the card. It has a little story here about the crow in the Native American kind of cosmologies, folklore, okay? So it says, like the raven, which is often synonymous, the crow wields powerful magic. In Native American myths, the crow restores order to the heavens. A Sioux, I think it's Sioux, right? The Sioux Indians belief links the crow to abundance and prosperity. One legend tells of a white crow that warns the buffalo every time hunters approach. This leads to hunger and starvation for the people, and the crow is eventually captured by the hunters and thrown into a fire. But it escapes before becoming completely burned. Being only blackened by the flames, black becomes now its permanent color. As the crow flees, it promises never to warn the buffalo of the approaching hunters again. The crow is thus a kind of phoenix that rises from the ashes, symbolizing renewal, transformation, and the promise of abundance. So, yay, very cool. And I think that Leo got another bird too yesterday. I can't remember which one it was, but good stuff. So that is your reading here, Virgo. I hope you got something from it. So we're going to take a moment now to do some shuffling and switch over to Libra here. And I will put a timestamp in later for people who are tuning in later. So you can, if you just want to watch Libra, you can skip to it or whatever, okay? So let's see here. Put all these, put the crystals for a moment, and then we'll do some shuffling. Yes, yes. Where did my other crystals go? Well, there's one there I can use always. My little selenite crystals. Okay. So let's put these all randomly in here and then we'll get to the shuffling. And I think I'm going to turn on the music just a little bit for some background noise because I turn it down and up all the time because I'm doing the free read too loud and just kind of like relaxing background stuff there. All right. Oh yeah, real quickly before we get into it too, I want to check the astrology notes real quickly and see if there's anything coming up in reference to Libra specifically. Well, not really, but Venus is is the ruler of Libra, right? So we do have Venus. Let's say today's the 23rd. So yesterday, depending on when you're watching, Venus entered into Gemini. Okay, so again, Venus rules love, assets, larger forms of money and abundance, right? But yeah, that's really the only thing as far as Libra energy concerned in the astrology notes coming up. But you can always check out the video I have here on my channel too, in case there's something else there. I don't remember now all the details. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do some shuffling. All right. Messages for air sign Libra for June 21st through July 21st. Yes, I thought I said 22nd, 21st. All right. Messages for Libra, June 21st through July 21st. What does Libra need to see? What does Libra need to know? Messages for Libra. Messages for Libra's highest vibration, June 21st through July 21st. Libra. Messages for Libra. Air sign Libra, June 21st through July 21st. Okay, we'll do that in 1 second. I'll just shuffle these here too. Messages for air sign Libra for June 21st through July 21st. Okay. I did, I think, 5 shuffles for this one. I did like 1 for the little animal spirit thing, and I'm going to do like 3 for this one. Okay, but I also do the fish pile pond thing where I put them in a big batch and kind of see what comes out. So anyway, just bear with me for a second. All right. Messages for air sign Libra, June 21st through July 21st. Messages for air sign Libra for their highest vibration, June 21st through July 21st. Oh, come on. These ones are slippery. Okay. I think I mentioned before, if you've seen me before, I have some fanning powder. I might have to bring that out at some point when this is an old deck and this is kind of old too, so they shuffle easily. But this one is still fresh, I guess. Okay. Messages for air sign Libra, June 21st to July 21st. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one. Hold on a second. This is all messed up. Okay. Whatever, it's a rough estimate. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and, oh, you know what? Let's do our sound bell. Perfect timing. All right. Sorry. My ring. Okay. So if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or just relax and listen. But it's good for grounding, for healing, to get into the next set of energies in zodiac sign, right? So we're now going to get into Libra. Okay. Okay. Put this over here. All right. So we're doing messages for air sign Libra. They're on highest vibration. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? For June 21st through July 21st, through June 21st through July 21st. Messages for Libra. What does Libra need to see? Messages for Libra. What do we need to see? Messages for Libra. Air sign Libra. The balance scales. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Libra. Messages for air sign Libra for the highest vibration, June 21st through July 21st, Libra. All right, let me clarify real quickly how Spirit wants these cards. All right. Okay. Spirit seeing the board.
Cruisers 360. Cruisers 360 is the only diaper with a 360 stretchy waistband.
Anybody wants to hear that? Okay. Okay. And Spirit, do you want the 8 of Swords? All right, so they want those like that, and then we'll take what's on the top and the bottom. All right. Now let's put this over here for a second. This guy, or girl, or whatever. Oh, we already did the shuffle. Okay. That's right. Okay, messages for air sign Libra. One card, please, for air sign Libra for June 21st through July 21st. For June 21st through July 21st. What does Libra need to see? Okay. Okay, they want it. So again, we'll take the top and the bottom. All right. And then we got our little animal card, and then we'll be ready to start. Okay. Messages for air sign Libra. One card, please. Additional messages for air sign Libra for June 21st through July 21st. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration Libra? All right. Okay. So let me just figure out really quickly where Spirit wants the top and the bottoms here. I'm guessing it's like this, but I'm going to double check. Okay. Oh, and then I'm going to take my picture too real quickly because I will forget. So I post all the pictures after the reading on my Facebook page in case you want to see them up close again later. So all you have to do is click in the description box below and it tells me it's my Facebook page. So anyway, let me just do this real quickly. Okay. And what else? Is it going to confirm? Yes. Okay. Okay, so they don't want those there. Just kidding. I'm thinking they might want it here. So I will confirm again. Okay, so they do want them there. And then these two. Okay, cool. So we got those. All right, so go ahead and set the little timer here. It's just like a general thing for me, so I kind of know what time it is. Get a sip here one sec. Okay, and I kind of have to say my little spiel thing again, just in case people are just tuning in and they skip to just the Libra part. Okay, so yeah, everybody is welcome. Thank you for being here. All that good stuff. We are covering a 4-week time period, so essentially from June 21st to July 21st. Okay, as an example though, since all readings are timeless and time is fluid, all right? So for some people, it could resonate during that time period, actually this year in 2022, or it could resonate as an example 3 months in the past or 3 months in the future, 6 months, a year, vice versa, okay? What else were we gonna say? Yes, even if you are not a sun sign Libra, right? We all have Libra somewhere in our chart, okay? So there still may be some important messages here for you, all right? And all is welcome, of course. So we are talking about, we're going to go in order, your first 4 cards, and each card here represents a week's time or so, okay? And then we talk about the top and the bottom and the confirmation and your little animal spirit card. So let's go ahead and call out your cards in order here. But real quickly off the bat, so I don't forget, okay, we've got Leo energy here. We have Libra. You showed up in your own reading. Always a good element, a good omen. Okay. What else do we have? We've got 2 swords. 3 swords cards. We've got sacred circles or pentacles, 2 of those. So we've got basically 2 earth cards as far as elements, earth signs, right? And then 3 swords, so 3 air energy plus yours down here, 4. And then we have a major arcana down here. We have 2 major arcanas. And then we have a cups card. So let me count here 1 second. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 sword. 4, that was a mouthful. 4 swords cards, okay? That looks like the majority of the minor arcana that are here. Then we've got 2 pentacles and 1 cup. So what does that mean? It could be another like insight into your reading, right? So when we talk about swords, that's our mind in the tarot. So our crown chakra, our logical mind, all right? So when it's all in good working order, right? We have the mind, body, spirit balance, okay? But the sword, just like the wands in tarot, can be used as a tool or a weapon, right? And so it can also bring about anxiety, worry, overthinking if you stay too much up in the head here, okay? But we'll break it down more as we get to each card because, like I said, it just could be for some, not everybody, an extra kind of like more insight into the reading. But let's go ahead and call out your cards here first, okay? So we have the 10 of Swords in the right side up position. We have the 4 of Sacred Circles, also known as 4 of Pentacles, right side up. We have the 10 of Sacred Circles in reverse, also known as 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And then we have the 8 of Swords in the right side up position. And then we'll get to the other ones a little bit later here. And let's talk about two for the people who are just turning in, what each of these four cards could correspond to as far as timing. So the first card is right now, right? So June 21st through the 27th. And then we have the second week, June 28th through July 4th or so, right? And then the third week could be from around July 5th through July 11th. The fourth week and fourth card could be from around July 12th through July 21st, okay? Just in this as a guide and an example, right? Um, but yeah, Libra, I don't know, what's going on here, but your first card, and it's not the end of the world, right? It could be an energetic blockage or a challenge here, or maybe it's not even you, right? I always say it could be about you, Libra. It could be about a person you're dealing with, or multiple people, or a general environment situation, okay? But we start off with this Ten of Swords in the right side up position. So when I was talking about the swords and the mind, right, when it goes off of balance, that's when we have stuff like the Ten of Swords in the right side up position, because the swords are now going down and it's anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in the head, or just straight up exhaustion, mentally exhausted, okay? And if you look at the card here, trying to get the angle right, we see this kind of samurai, Japanese samurai that has put 10 swords into the back of someone and they're laying there dead, right? And so it's just basically that metaphor that we were talking about. Now, this also, I forgot to mention, when we talk about your first card in any reading or your first couple cards, but we're using not that many this time. This can be energy from the recent past if it's not necessarily about you, or it could be about you or another person energy, but it could be more about something that, let's say, as an example, happened a couple days ago, a couple months ago, a couple years ago, what have you, okay? But like all things, we have the ups and the downs, and the energy ebbs and flows. So moving forward, though, into your second week, right, which would be in the middle of next week and moving beyond, so June 28th through July 4th, we now have the Four of Pentacles or the Four of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. And so this is really great to see, okay, following that Ten of Swords, kind of harsh energy, to now that Four of Pentacles, Four of Sacred Circles, right side up energy, okay? So the Four of Sacred Circles is about, it's about planning for abundance. It's about putting money aside, energy aside, what have you, to prepare for the future, okay? But it is Four of Pentacles or Four of Sacred Circles, right? So in tarot, it goes from 1 to 10. So it's not the highest, but it's not the lowest. It's in the middle. So it's building abundance, building wealth, building energy, love, your business, whatever it is, okay? But also in particular in this deck, you see this Native American man and he's smoking the peace pipe, right? And he has smoke all around him. And so the peace pipe and the smoke and tobacco is about communication. So how can I communicate with myself and others how to get more wealth, how to get more energy, how to get more love, more business, whatever it is, okay? But this is for momentum, and it is progress, okay? It might be slow paced, right? But either way, it still is an improvement from the first card, right? So not to worry too much there, okay? And like I said, the Ten of Swords too could have just been mentally exhausted, right? We all have that, especially with all the stuff that's going on in our world right now. So it's always good to maybe slow down a little bit, think about how you're going to plan for the future, and just go like baby steps, like do this, and slowly progress forward. Okay. So I would say throughout this reading here, Libra, there's a little bit of some back and forth energy, which does happen from time to time for all of us, right? But it's a little bit like 2 steps forward, 1 step back in some regards, right? Will be different for everybody. But when we get to that third week, and this is things that can still be changed, you always have free will and choice in your life. But when we get to that third week, which we said could be from around July 5th through July 11th, you have the 10 of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, okay? So it's like, what happened? You were starting to build abundance, money, wealth, love, good health, all those things. And then somebody wasn't quite ready for it, or you're like, wait a minute, I am ready, or it wasn't the right time. It could be a lot of different things here, and we'll know more as we talk about what's on the top and the bottom. But that 10 of sacred circles or 10 of pentacles is in reverse, okay? So 10 being completion number in tarot would normally be endings, new beginnings, but here it's in reverse. So again, maybe it wasn't the right time for this ending, new beginning. Maybe you weren't ready to level up in some area of your life, or the other person was, or multiple people, or corporation, or environment, what have you, okay? Because the 10 of sacred circles, though, in particular 10 of pentacles, when it's in reverse, it could be like you feeling, Libra, that you don't have enough support around you. Because when the card is right side up, we see this Native American community and everybody's all together, right? And they're huddling up. It's winter time, there's snow, and then there's that full moon, okay? Now, the full moon is happening 2 days after this card, right? As just a reference. The full moon in July is 13th. Let me check. Yes, the full moon in Capricorn is on July 13th. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean something to you, but it can, or it could be referencing a past full moon, or it's just a combination of energy of what full moons feel like, or what the number 10 would feel like from 1 to 10. It could just be that too. But it really is like that feeling of, again, not somebody or some energy not ready to level up in some way, or they're not feeling supported, or it's just straight up not the right time. So let's go ahead and talk about kind of maybe why this card came out the way that it did, okay? So now we're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of your first deck here in relation to that 10 of sacred circles in reverse. So what we have on, it's this, wait, which way was it? No, that's right, okay, tripping, okay. We have the Four of Swords is on the top of your deck, and then Justice and the right side up position is on the bottom of your deck. Remember I said that you showed up in your own reading. A lot of times you do. Sometimes Virgo does too. You, Virgo, and Leo always seem to do that. But anyway, so we're talking about past energy. So whatever that means for you, days, months, weeks, years, okay? But we have the Four of Swords here. Somebody or an energy in the past was feeling like overwhelmed mentally in some way, and they were perhaps trying to hide it, okay? They didn't want others to see it or be burdened by it or deal with it straight up themselves. So we see this Japanese woman is pouring sand over the sword, okay? But then in the same time in the past, we have your card here, Libra, right? The Justice card in the right side up position. So maybe this is saying that in the past, in some way, you were used to dealing, or another person around you, general environment situation, was used to dealing with a lot of mental stimulation, whether good or bad, maybe didn't want to dwell on it, or there was some denial with another person or even yourself. But despite that, you were still in your element in a certain way. You were still striving for balance, right? That's Libra. You are the balance scales. You are the Justice card. So her sword is not down, going down, which would be when there's anxiety, worry, overthinking, or her sword is also not up, which would be mental clarity. It's just like level, okay? That's an example there. The other one is 2, but she's pouring sand over it, so it doesn't count, right? But yeah, this could just be saying that in the past, you felt like here, Libra, that there was more ebb and flow, maybe light and dark balance between when you were stressed out and when you weren't stressed out. Maybe there was no in between. Maybe there was no gray areas, or maybe for the other person, general environment situation. And so maybe when someone called you out on that, or you called yourself out on that, or you called it out on another person, vice versa, that maybe that took that sense of community away, where again, they were like kind of going back to the past, where it was more comfortable, okay, to bury those things and not deal with it, because maybe that's how you dealt with it in the past. And you don't, it's about like definitely vulnerability, right? It's hard for anybody to be vulnerable, but um, it's also about evolving though too, right? For everyone. Okay. So in this deck in particular, when you look at the Justice card, let me just show you that for a second, put all this other stuff down. There's a snake here, right? Cleo, no. Hold on, guys. Cleo. Hush. Sorry. There's a snake here going around the bottom of her legs. Okay, so the snake is the evolution area or metaphor, the change metaphor, shedding the skin. Right, you're never the same person at any moment, or not any. You're. What do they say that this? There's a saying that every 7 years your cells like completely regenerate. You're not the same person you were maybe even 2 weeks ago. Generally, at a fundamental level, you are, but things have evolved and changed, and so you're different in some way, even if it's a tiny or small thing. So I really feel like the way to summarize it and then keep going forward and not stay here forever, because you're like, some of you are like, I got it, let's go. To flip that, right, to go from the energetic blockage to now more abundance, and wealth and money and whatever you want in your life, is to know that we all can change, right? And we can also, excuse me, we can change our mental process. We can change the way we think about also mental health, right? I think that that definitely happened for a lot of people if they weren't already aware during the pandemic, right, when we were all locked up and stuff. So anyway, let's keep moving forward because I don't want to like focus too much on that. But it's still a good omen when you show up in your own reading, okay? So remember that too, Libra. Okay. Now, moving forward, though, we do have progress. Remember how I said you had the Four of Sacred Circles was progress. Then you kind of went backwards a little bit with the Ten of Sacred Circles in reverse. Then you have the Eight of Swords right side up. So you're thinking, some people might be thinking, well, the Eight of Swords right side up is not progress, but it is, okay? Because even though the swords are going down and there's some still worry, anxiety, overthinking, she's at least aware of it, right? She's fanning herself, this Japanese woman. She's looking out into the water. The water represents her emotions. So she's like, how are my emotions clouding my mental mind, my logical mind, right? Because we want to work everything in unison. So I want to be smart and be a logical person, and get things done in certain ways and energies in society. But then I also want to be artistic and I want to be in touch with my emotions and all those things, just as an example, okay? But there's still progress here, all right? Now, when we break this card down and we talk about what's on the top and the bottom of the other deck, okay, again, past energy, we have that Leo energy. The Sun card here is on the top of your deck, and then we have the Three of Cups in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck here, okay, in relation to the Eight of Swords right side up, okay? So it looks like here in the past, there could have been more youthful energy, more passion, more creativity, or even spiritual downloads, revelations, just more of happy times, right? When you look at both these cards, they look pretty happy, even just like on a color basic level, okay? We see the young guy on the horse moving forward, or the kid, child, baby, whatever. I think it's a baby. All right, anyway. Then on the other side, we have the Three of Cups. So it's support, right? So in the past, okay, maybe there was just more support in your emotions, right? Because the cups in tarot represent emotions. There was more emotional support in the past. There was also more passion, creativity, youthful energy in the past. So maybe this here, this Eight of Swords and the more current present energies, and this is the past energies, is like, how do I incorporate those things again, right? But maybe more on my own. Not saying that you won't have a support system, not saying that you won't ever have support again, but it's just like, how can I get in those energies again to kind of put the anxiety, worry, overthinking down, okay? All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Now moving forward, okay, we're almost getting there, don't worry. We have your confirmation card here, which is going to come in and it's going to confirm these 4 cards, the 4 weeks that we talked about, okay? And this is not a past card. It's not a future card either. It's like Well, it's if you had to say it would be more future, but it's still like it's not set in stone. So it's usually, and the one that came out here this time, I would take it as a reminder or something to reflect on because it doesn't mean that it necessarily has to happen. So anyway, blah blah blah. Your confirmation card is the Seven of Swords in the right side up position. All right. And so here again, unfortunately, the swords are going down, right? But this guy is really defensive in some way. He's mentally defensive, okay? He could be competing with himself, with others, but it's like, bro, you want all these swords. You only need one really to fight or to build a castle or clear your path. Cut the vines back, as they say, or whatever. So why are you holding on to all of them? Like you need help, right? So it's also about getting the right type of help, right? I was trying to think, somebody else got this recently, but anyway, when we're talking about getting the right type of help, right? So let's say you're in a position of authority, or maybe even not even in a position of authority, but you need some type of help, and someone comes in, and let's say you're cooking a big dinner for a bunch of guests, right? And the person that's offering to help you doesn't even know how to boil water, right? And so you're like, you can't help me, like you're just going to make things more difficult. So this is also that energy as well. So it's like, how can I put some of that defensive energy down? How can I let some other people come in and help me put my worries, my anxiety, my overthinking down, even if it's just for a moment, or even to pass on, to give a reference to someone else that could help you more, right? Something like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I would say for that. Okay. But it's so funny too, because one more thing. There's this dead tree behind him, and then there's flowers all around him, right? So it's like if you just put some of those swords down and take a moment to look around your environment, whether it's your mental environment, your physical, your spiritual, all those things, there is still growth right around the corner. Okay. All right, Libra, real quickly, there's like a bird theme going on. So with that being said, your little, it's not an oracle card, but it's those artist cards, and they all deal with animals. So we'll call it your animal card for this time period, or even beyond, is the birds. Okay, it just says birds straight up. So really pretty artwork here. It looks like an older man with a beard, and there's like a couple of swans. Hold on. And an owl in there, and then we've got the moon in the background. So I'm just going to read real quickly from the back of the card, if I can hold it straight here, and see what else it says. So birds represent soul, divinity, liberation, creativity, and rebirth, right? If you watch the Virgo reading, they had the crow, and I think Leo had the hawk. So that's why I was saying there's some kind of bird thing going on, going around in the theme here. But birds, like my always first think when I think of birds, right, is they see things from a higher perspective, and you'll see them in certain tarot cards, right? There's a bunch of birds in the background, and it's usually a king or queen, and so they have the ability to see things from a higher perspective, see all the pieces to the puzzle, as they say. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read this and see what else we can learn, all of us here together. Okay, so it says, winged creatures are powerful symbols in many cultures around the globe, often representing deities or other spiritual beings. Through flight, birds symbolize liberation and link the upper spiritual and the lower earthly worlds. The Egyptian gods originated as birds, retaining part of their original anatomy as they evolved into humans. The Egyptian soul is represented as a bird with a human head. That's true. An Indian Hindu cosmology, birds represent higher levels of being. In this painting from Susan Bola is the artist, a multitude of birds, including the snowy owl, swan, dove, a pelican, and the heron. I always say that wrong. The heron, not the street kind. if you know what I mean, the bird kind. It says, are woven into the hair of an aged man, denoting wisdom and the connection between the earthly and spiritual realms. And I was thinking of something else. Oh, that's right. So the Egyptians, because I love Egyptian stuff, they also believe that when birds are singing and talking, they are the souls of people who have passed on. So when you hear birds outside your window, or just when you're out about, Hermes, Cleo, no. Sorry, guys. When you hear the birds, when you're out and about, it's interesting to think like, oh my God, is that my grandmother who's passed on talking, or is that whoever has passed on? So it's an interesting thing. So yeah, hopefully you got some kind of message here about the birds. When we talk about the stork here, you can see a little tiny baby. I just saw that part. Hold on, see the baby there. Right there. So what do birds bring into our lives and how can we learn from them, basically? Oh no, it stopped focusing. Okay, hold on, this happened before. Sometimes if it focuses on crystal or a ring, there we go. Yes, hold the crystal of the light. All right, so that is your reading here, dear Libra. Hopefully you got something from it, and always feel free to let me know in the comments down below how it came about for you, or how your story may have resonated with this. But you don't have to, of course, only if you want to. But anyway, thank you guys all so much for your energy, for your likes, for your shares. It really does help the channel. When you like the video, it not only tells me that you resonate with it, but it lets YouTube's algorithms know, and so they share it with more people. So it's a great way to be supportive of this channel, since I do readings here for free and all that good stuff. So yeah, so anyway, oh yes, the photo. If you want to see the photo of all the cards, I will be posting in a few minutes. All you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there to my Facebook page if you want to see the photo. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm going to take a short break, and then we will be back. When I say we, it's me and spirit, right? The spirits out there. We will be back to continue on with Scorpio and Sagittarius, if you want to join us there as well. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. All right, take care. Bye.